Hello friends, it's been a long time that I upload a video on my channel, and that's because I was having my work, and it's almost full time, so I couldn't concentrate both on my work and chess. Sorry for that, but I will be trying to upload videos as frequently as possible. And also today I brought you a game which I played just now, just to teach you something better than nothing. And so I will be uploading something at times. So let's get started. The game, I was white, and I played e4, and my opponent played e5, and now I played bishop c4. And I should tell you that I didn't even analyze this game after I played. Usually I don't analyze my games after I play. People say that you should analyze your game to improve your chess. You should analyze every game so that you could analyze and become better at chess so fastly, all that. But if you keep concentrating on your betterment, and if you keep pushing yourself to your betterment so rapidly, you you would start losing the enthusiasm in you. You would start hating, might be you start hating chess. Okay, so just play for fun, just enjoy the game, just satisfy yourself the win, and don't uh, don't analyze too much, because if we analyze too much, even the satisfactory wins we have and the computer will show so many mistakes, and that's demoralizing. So don't be so hard on you, just enjoy the game. And I am just kind of that persons who enjoy the game rather than pushing myself to improve my game. Okay, so I am playing all this for fun, and I am doing this, even this YouTube channel for fun, which is I like teaching, so I just doing this. So my opponent played bishop c5, and I played d4, the Lewis Gambit, and my opponent captured bishop captures d4, and now I played knight f3, and he responded with knight f6. It's not the best move here, so from here onwards I took the advantage. um, you can literally see from here that I didn't give my opponent a chance to come back in the game. Okay, so I captured the bishop, he captured the knight, and now e5. And if you see that this knight cannot come forward, these three squares are controlled, and if on e4 I will capture this pawn with the tempo on the knight, so that's not even possible. So my opponent thought he could play queen e2 and expect from me that I would play queen e2, but that's not the case. I castled immediately, and now he realized that he cannot capture this pawn, as rook e1 is a threat. If he plays knight e4, then f3 will capture the piece. So now only he realized the danger, and he played the move which he should have played it earlier, before playing queen e7. So now he played knight back to his original position. So again, now we have to be careful. We cannot simply capture this uh, pawn. Okay, we cannot simply capture this pawn, because knight c6 will gain a tempo on our queen, and if we move our queen back to d1, then he will capture this pawn, and that will be a tempo on our bishop also. So that will almost equalize the game for black. Okay, so we should not be hurry in this, and I did the perfect move here, which is developing my piece, which is to knight d2, and I was ready for the move knight c6, and I came in time with knight f3, protecting this pawn. Okay, so again he cannot capture this pawn, because I will capture, and his queen will be pinned by my rook. So Again, now my opponent has to think what he has to do for the development of his minor pieces, because this plan is okayish, but I can start attacking from either side. So he didn't prefer that, and if knight h6, then I think I can capture, and this gives a file for my opponent to attack, but his king is also in the center, so I think that would be a fight which is in the favor of me. So also he cannot play this pawn somewhere, because I will capture, and rook e1 is a threat. So what my opponent did was to play queen c5, which is attacking my bishop, and then if I move this bishop, he can play knight e7 and castle on the king side. So this was the plan which my opponent made, well and good, but it has a slight disadvantage, which I am good at spotting, because I have played the Giocopiano Italian openings many times, and in those openings many of these tactical patterns will occur. So if you are an Italian player, you might be interested to see these tactical patterns. Remember this, and one thing what I did was to think, I thought queen e2, I just thought I was going to play queen e2, but after seeing that tactical pattern, I stepped back. I played bishop b3, so that I could do the tactics, and as expected my opponent played knight e7. Now the tactical shot starts, knight g5. Okay, so it attacks the f7 pawn, and my opponent actually castled. Okay, that's not a good move. And there was one other move which I was expecting that my opponent would play, which was to capture this pawn. For this move, what I have planned was, I was aiming to play rook e1, and my threat is to capture this knight, and then capture on f7 with the bishop might be. Okay, so I was planning to do that, but here black can play castles. Black can play castle, and now what my plan was to play queen h5. You see the advantage of queen h5, disadvantage of this knight not being on this f7 square. Okay, it is on the e7 square, so my queen can go to h5. Okay, so that's why the knight on e7 is not good enough to protect the king. Okay, so now it's a checkmate threat, and if he plays h6, then I can capture this pawn. He cannot capture with the knight because the queen is hanging, and if he captures with the rook, I can capture with the bishop, and again he cannot capture because the queen is hanging. Okay, so this was a plan which I thought on this move. Before playing knight g5, I thought all this, and I thought I would be winning from here, but my opponent immediately played castle. So this was also easy for me, because I just played queen h5, again taking the advantage that the knight is not on f6. Okay, so again the threat is to just checkmate here. My opponent played h6, and I captured this pawn. So my opponent captured the knight. If he doesn't capture, the game is about to over. So he captured, and here I could have captured the rook with my queen. That would have been a better move. But what I was hoping is I just played for hope here. I just captured the rook with the bishop, and what I was hoping was my opponent to play king h8. If my opponent had played king h8, then I would have captured this h6 pawn with my bishop, and after captures it would be a checkmate. So for this tactics I just captured with my bishop, but it doesn't go that way. My opponent played king h7. Okay, that I couldn't apply that tactics, and from here you could see that we are exchange up, and black's king is slightly weak, and also black is behind in development. Okay, so here we could say that we are in a superior position, and I was thinking how to continue from here. Now, first of all, what we have to do is to develop all these pieces somewhere on f4 or g5 somewhere, and bring the rooks to the center. Okay, this is the ideal plan which we should be planning to do here, and that's the way you should continue when you are ahead of material. Okay, you should not hurry and attack. You should first develop all your pieces every time, and then you plan your attack accordingly. Okay, so first of all I played rook e1 just to ensure that this e5 pawn is protected, and until my e5 pawn is protected, he will be thinking, refraining from playing d6. Okay, d6 move will activate his bishop, so I'm just ensuring that he should not play d6 and develop his bishop. So yeah, I am developing my piece, but also keeping an eye that my opponent don't develop his piece. Okay, so yeah, my opponent played queen cross c2, and this is a good move from a human point of view, that he controls this long diagonal, and my queen cannot come and check along this diagonal. So if I am checking along this diagonal, then he will most probably will exchange, because he is lacking in development, and after the queen exchange he might get some hope in the end game. Okay, so I was keeping all that in my mind, so I knew that I should not allow the queens to get exchanged. If queens will get exchanged, then I have to fight until the end game. Other, if the queen is on the board, I can finish this game in the middle game itself. So I was thinking all this, and also again now we have to develop this bishop, right? Bishop to f4 or g5, somewhere I have to develop. So I was thinking these two moves, but the only problem was this queen f5, which is on the card. The queen f5 will force my queen to exchange, because my bishop and queen will be under attack, so I will be forced to exchange the queens there. So after thinking all these, and also the back rank threat, because I cannot move my rook away from that, right? So there is also this back rank threat. So to solve all these problems, I played this move, which is g4. This was a very powerful move which controls this f5 square. G4 move was not to play g5 and open up this pawn chain, but because I played g4 just to ensure that this f5 square is controlled and he could not play his queen to f5. That's why I played the move g4, and this is a powerful move, and you will understand the significance of it later. So my opponent, after a minute thought, so he just played now d6. I think there would have been other moves, like he could have played a b6, bishop b7, and rook to here, but that would be very slow, and I can just play h4, g5, all that. So I was planning all that. Otherwise Black doesn't have any move. This queen is ideally placed on this diagonal, and this knight is protecting these two squares. If this knight was not on there, I can easily capture this bishop on h6 pawn, and after he captures I can play queen g6 and queen h8 g8 checkmate. Okay, so the knight is also doing a wonderful job, so he cannot move his knight also. And after all these thought, my opponent played d6, so I just captured the d6 pawn, and now my rook is more active. And after he captures, I played bishop g5. Now you see that the bishop is protected by the queen because the pawn is pinned, and now I develop my bishop on g5 and also attacking this knight, and my rooks are connected now. So I almost completed my development now, and my opponent played the worst move here, which is knight g6. When you are in a defending position, always try not to put your pieces in the queen's defense. Okay, the queen is guarding this knight, so if I capture the knight, he will capture with the queen, and the queens will also get exchanged. Okay, so that was his hope, but I played rook c1 attacking the queen. He cannot move his queen away from this diagonal. He has to keep in touch with the knight. So the only square which is available on this diagonal is this d3 square. Okay, and the f5 square is controlled by our g4 pawn. So that's the significance. So queen d3, and after rook d1, he played again queen c2, and now rook d2. Now all those squares are controlled, and black has no option. And now my opponent captured this pawn, and I captured the bishop. And now what was his plan is to play rook e5. So at the first glance I thought I should capture this knight and then capture the rook, capture the queen, but if I capture the knight, other knight will come and attack my queen, so that's not possible. And also I had many good moves, so I just captured his queen and he captured my queen. Now I am a rook up, and I just started exchanging. I captured his knight, and I played bishop f4. Now he played rook d8, and now I played h3. Instead h3, I should directly go for rook e7, but I just made an inaccuracy. He played knight f6, and now I played a rook e7. So this was a clear mistake, and I allowed this fork, but then I saw this tactical shot, the final tactical shot, which is rook e6 check, and he came to f5 attacking both my piece, but now rook cross d6, and everything is saved. He captured the rook and I captured back. Now I am a whole rook up, and my opponent resigned in this position. So I hope you have learned something from this game, and the main advice which I gave you in this video is not to be hectic on chess. Okay, just play and enjoy the game. Thank you.